Well, good morning from Cheltenham College. Sunday, second Sunday of the festival. Last Sunday of the festival, but not the end of the festival. Gloucestershire against Wiltshire today in the National Counties Challenge Series. A lot of these games going on all around the country. And Gloucestershire are playing Wiltshire for the third successive year. And delighted to say that Alex Duffel, who's the age group manager at Wiltshire Cricket, is with us. Morning to you.
Morning, Ian. Thank you very much for having me again. Very much looking forward to it today.
Yeah, and we're hopeful that we can get a good block of cricket in. Whether we will get the whole game remains to be seen, but part of perhaps the way the toss went this morning may be governed by that, because Wiltshire won the toss and have decided to bat, which is relatively unusual in these games. As a rule, the county side would generally bat first to give experience in both facets of the game to the Wiltshire side. But with the rain as it is, the best way of doing that this time may have been for things to be set up this way round. I'll give you the Gloucestershire side, and I'll let Alex give you the Wiltshire team. Gloucestershire with Ben Wells keeping wicket. Tommy Borman, young lad who played in the village final for Dumbleton last year out of the Gloucestershire Academy. Jack Taylor, Will Naish, Ahmed Syed, also out of the Academy. Ed Middleton, who's been doing 12-man duties for the championship games at Cheltenham this year. Luke Charlesworth, Ben's younger brother. Josh Shaw, who's going to open the bowling. Tom Smith, Dominic Goodman, and Ajit Singh Dale. So here is Shaw in with the first ball of the match to Jake Goodwin, who is one of the two Wiltshire openers. The other one is Tom Cullen, and if that name rings a bell to you, that's because he was on the stuff at Glamorgan until the end of last season. And probably, Alex, the most experienced player in your team.
Yeah, certainly in terms of first class and professional cricket. I mean, it was already quite an interesting decision to see him opening instead of Jack Minot, which potentially, there's Jake Goodwin, gets solidly in behind that one, potentially signifies that Wiltshire have a little eye on the rain here and are going attacking early. I would say this is a slightly more attacking partnership than if it was Jake Goodwin and Jack Minot. So just running through the Wiltshire team for today. So captained by Ed Young, former Gloucestershire player of about 13 years ago now. Ben Draper will keep wicket. Caron Bennett-Thomas, Harry Broderick, Tom Cullen, Arthur Godsall, Jake Goodwin, Josh Kelly, Jack Minot and Joe King, as well as Josh Croom for today's Wiltshire lineup.
That's clipped away for the first single. We're using the wicket closest to the members' stand here at Cheltenham, so it's a short boundary to this side of the ground, quite a long boundary out to the Sandford Road side.
Seems to be a similar position to where we were last year, actually, where James Bracey hit quite a few sixes our way, I think.
And Harry Clements, who's the Gloucestershire analyst, has just said that the pavilion boundary to this side of the ground is 47 metres and to the far side is 64, so it is quite a difference. Here is Shaw from the chapel end, and that's let go by Cullen through to Wells. The slips are Jack Taylor and the tall figure of Ed Middleton. The straight boundaries are always longer, so the College Lawn end boundary 66 metres and the chapel end boundary 71 metres. That gives you an idea of the playing area here at Cheltenham. Gloucestershire, of course, in their one-day kit, all black with yellow trim. And Josh Shaw from the chapel end to Cullen, who tries to turn that into the leg side, and it goes out into the offside in the end, fielded by tall figure of Will Naish. Naish has been playing some second-team cricket at Kent within the last couple of weeks. Perhaps, maybe, if there's been an inquiry there for his services going forward. I think his deal at Gloucestershire is up at the end of this season. Shaw in once more. Cullen hit on the pad, but umpire Shanmugam has put up the finger. Cullen looked a little rueful as he turned round there, but the umpire has raised the finger, and the first wicket comes in the first over, and Cullen is LBW to Shaw without scoring. That Didn't get up very much.
No, it didn't. Looked slightly leg side-ish, potentially clipping leg stump, I reckon, that one. Cullen tried to whip it away through mid-wicket, but yeah, he'll be disappointed with that, and that's not a great start for Wiltshire. The experiment of moving Tom Cullen up to open hasn't paid off. 1 for 1 at the end of the first over.
So that you would expect to be Jack Minot.
It is Jack Minot coming in. So this, what I would say, this is probably now the traditional Wiltshire opening partnership.
And has he been your main run scorer this season in the various formats? Yeah,
obviously. So there's the 3 formats that that Wiltshire play. In terms of the 50 over National Counties Trophy has been the one that they've been most successful in this year, reaching the semi-final stage. And Jack Minot was the leading run scorer in that competition for Wiltshire with 212 runs. Tom Cullen, incidentally, was second with 205, including man of the match performance 80 in the quarter-final win.
So Ajit Singh Dale is going to open up from the College Lawn end. Hasn't been involved in the red ball games here at Cheltenham, and that's into the pads of Goodwin. It dribbles out onto the offside. In fact, if you want to take this over from the College Lawn end, you're welcome.
Absolutely. So Jake Goodwin, of course, some viewers may remember from his Hampshire days, 1 T20 for Hampshire, instantly with a half-decent score, actually. So he averages 32 in his T20 career for Hampshire, but just the one game. Singdale comes in, and Goodwin gets a little inside edge onto his pads. Little bit in the pitch early, it seems.
Yeah, this was the pitch they used for the Western Storm game on Monday, but that was only that ended up being only 22 overs a side because of the rain. Early part of the day, they didn't start till 3 o'clock. So yeah, it's not had a lot of use.
Already a couple of balls just cannoning into the thigh pads, and the one LBW clipped low as that is caught. Jake Goodwin has absolutely middled that straight to forward square leg.
That's Ahmed Syed, I think, with the catch.
And this is possibly the worst start for Wiltshire. So Jake Goodwin goes for 1, caught Syed off the bowling of Ajit Singh Dale, and Wiltshire 1 for 2.
Yes, that wasn't probably in Ed Young's mind when he decided to bat first. Probably wanted a reasonable start, accepting that there may be weather around later, but quite a bit of focus is now going to be on the skipper if he is due in at number 4. Obviously, ex-Gloucestershire, played between 2010 and 2013, including some first-class cricket in there, not just white ball cricket. But has he been with Wiltshire ever since?
I believe so. I mean, Ed's been captain
stint
for a long stint now, and he's played a lot of games for Wiltshire.
And it is Ed Young.
It is. Yeah.
Probably in rather earlier than he expected.
Yeah, the long flowing hair under the helmet. His Twitter bio says that he looks like Tommy Fleetwood, and he's been called that 48 times apparently.
You see, the problem during the season is that cricketers just don't have time for a haircut.
No. So a bit of a rebuild needed here from the Wiltshire skipper. He's won the toss, elected to bat, and has found his side 1 for 2. Singdale comes in, and that's down the leg side. Nothing signalled, potentially off the thigh pad. Young tried to whip that one through square leg again, a similar fashion to how Jake Goodwin got out.
It was a smartish catch actually by Ahmed's side. It was a nice height, I suppose, but you've still got to get in the right position, and particularly with the slope, it was away to his left, sort of shoulder height.
Yeah, easy one to misjudge, and Goodwin timed it well. The first one that's been timed all day, actually, so it came off quite quickly as Young hits that one to mid-on. It's a very strong start from the Gloucestershire bowlers here. They've attacked the stumps early, attacking the pads of the Wiltshire batters, and not given much away at all.
I did mention to Jack Longstaff, who's heavily involved with the media here at Gloucestershire, that some of the attack that Gloucestershire might use in the List A tournament this year don't have a lot of white ball experience in the longer format.
Ed Young off the mark there. Nice little clip down to long leg for a single.
So, as an example, Josh Shaw's only played 10 List A games, Dominic Goodman only 2, Ajit Singh Dale only 2. So, you know, it is a different format, certainly for the latter two. Josh Shaw obviously played quite a bit of T20, but you know, the white ball doesn't do as much. But they will have that responsibility with David Payne away with the 100, otherwise known as the tournament that must not be mentioned by some people. Shaw then, with Wiltshire on the Richie Benno score, 2 for 2. And Young waiting to face Shaw from the chapel and lets that go, and Wells takes that low down. He probably won't. He might keep in the List A. It may equally be used only as a batsman. Gloucestershire only losing 2 players to the 100 this year. David Payne and Miles Hammond. Hammond, of course, has been top run scorer in the championship. Shaw again to Ed Young. Oh, and he's almost thought he got more on that, I think, clipping it, or trying to clip it behind square on the leg side. But in the end, it may have gone into his pad and then just dribbled out behind the stumps, which, as you can see on the screen, are extremely colourful. That wouldn't be the new. Is that the National Counties stump colour, or is that?
I'm not sure actually. They almost look like the neon ones that are used in the Wiltshire leagues and the West of England Premier Leagues.
It's down the leg side from Shaw. Not given as a wide. Don't know whether the new sponsors of the white ball competition will mean a new and different coloured set of stumps.
I've just seen they're the Cheltenham College stumps, actually.
There we go then. Ed Young waits for Shaw from the chapel end, and that's steered into the ground. There is a third man, and good raking throw from Ahmed Syed down there. Doesn't have a number on his back. He and Ed Middleton are the 2 players without squad numbers. Borman's at square leg, one of the other academy players for Gloucestershire in this match. And he's fielding now as that's clipped out by Minot into the leg side. Most of these guys, Alex, would have to balance their cricket with work, genuine work.
Yeah, absolutely. In Jack Minot's case, he's a geography teacher at Dauntsey School in Market Lavington, just near Devizes. Also cricket coach there.
Shaw in from the chapel end, and Minot lets that go, just gets his pads right across. So the fact that the games are in blocks throughout the season, that helps him, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, you can. It's almost a bit club cricket at times, in the sense that some players are available for games and others are unavailable due to work commitments. But yeah, so the national county season is divided into 3 blocks. So block of T20 at the start, then 50 over, and then the 3-day competition at the end.
Pushed out by Minot into the offside. End of Shaw's over. We've had 3 overs here this morning. Wiltshire deciding to bat, having won the toss, and they have lost 2 wickets already. Ed Young has 2, and Jack Minot yet to score.
So Jeet Singh Dale to continue then. Already picked up 1 in his first over. And Ed Young waits to face him. And that is, well, it's a bottom edge that hasn't actually carried through to Ben Wells. It's gone under him for 4. So the first boundary of the day comes in slightly unconventional fashion. Not a lot of footwork from Ed Young there, but a little handy under edge that goes through Wells. 4 in the scorebook. And that is a lovely ball from Singh Dale, as that beats Ed Young for bounce there. So already we're seeing a little bit of 2 pace, and some getting up, some not quite so much today on this pitch.
It'd be a handy workout for Ajit, this. He was doing some straight line running but not bowling earlier in the week. He had a niggle, say, which kept him out of the championship.
Here he is again, full this time, and Ed Young gets an outside edge on that, down to 3rd man for the single.
Yeah, that's probably the longest boundary on the ground today. So if you're batting at the college lawn end, not from the end where you're facing Singh Dale, the clip out towards sort of wide long on for a right hander is probably the one where you get maximum value without it going to the rope.
Jack Minot to face Singh Dale, and that's a vicious bouncer. Catches Minot.
Only on the shoulder rather than the helmet, thankfully.
Yeah, jagged back late there. Bit of movement off the pitch for Singh Dale early here. He's looking good so far in his run out.
Skipper Tom Smith today. He's having a chat with Singh Dale about his field. They're moving Ed Middleton from 2nd slip to yes, sort of a fine leg gully.
Ooh, that beats Minot on the outside edge this time. So Singh Dale challenging the Wiltshire batters early here. Yeah, that's almost slightly wide-ish leg slip, leg gully in place now, as well as a long leg behind him. Just for those short bouncers, just to keep the Wiltshire batters on their toes. And he's just moving that man at leg gully slightly finer now. Singh Dale in, and that's clipped by Jack Minot. He'll pick up a couple here. In fact, he might pick up 4. He has done, despite the the good work down there by the fielder, but Minot is off the mark with a boundary. 13 for 2 at the end of the 4th.
And Wiltshire will feel a little bit better about that.
Yeah, 9 coming off the over. A challenging over, but 2 boundaries in it for Wiltshire.
Yeah, Goodwin and Cullen, the Wiltshire openers, dismissed in the first 2 overs. A wicket to Ajit Singh Dale and a wicket to Josh Shaw. Expect Dominic Goodman and Luke Charlesworth to make up the rest of the seam attack today. Here is Shaw starting the 5th over down the leg side, and umpire Shanmugam says that is a wide.
Yeah, and those 2 early wickets for Wiltshire are big ones. You've got 2 guys there with pro experience at the top level of the game. It's a slightly more inexperienced lineup as you go down the list.
Dan and I were talking during the last championship round, the Worcestershire match. Here is Shaw. In, that's worked away neatly straight to Tommy Baldwin, who's right by the square leg umpire. There's no run. It's either basically 1 or 4 on this short side of the ground. About the discipline or the indiscipline of bowling no balls and wides, particularly no balls. And I think I'm right in saying that in the Gloucestershire second innings yesterday, there was not a single extra other than the penalty runs for the incident between Dylan Pennington and Jack Taylor. And that was across 88 overs. Shaw in, and Gloucestershire have moved Middleton into a position at short mid-wicket for that little potential clip by Ed Young off his legs. Do you get frustrated with your under-13s team that you coach when they bowl a no ball?
Absolutely. We always encourage and try, and we play free hits at that age, and it's the only thing I would say is the free hit often ends with a big swing and a miss, so no runs. But yeah, we do tell them, get your foot behind that line.
Sure. In, that is swiftly hit by Young. Good stop by Ajit Singh Dale on the boundary at long leg. He got quite a nice kick actually. That was ball was going at some pace, but it bounced up.
Yeah, did well to protect his face there. He's copping a bit of stick from his Gloucestershire teammates out there for that one, but yeah, he's dealt with that one well.
That was travelling, mind you. And now Minot prepares to face Shaw, and he just pushes that out on the offside. No run. 15 for 2 in the 5th. Dan Whiting will join Alex after this over. How many age groups have you got in the Wiltshire setup? You look after the 13s.
No, I do look after the 13s. So I look after the 13s county squad and then also our development squad. So we have a county and development at every age. That's a lovely stroke there from Jack Minot.
Get full value for that. It's running away down the slope for 4, all the way along the ground, just behind square. Again, didn't really appear to hit it that hard. Just used the pace of the ball to steer it wide of the fielder. And as we found during this festival, although the ground has taken a lot of rain, and it looks quite lush, that's still not to say that the outfield isn't fast. Minot waits for Shaw. Only the bowler was interested in the appeal. The end of the 5th over. Wiltshire are 19 for 2. 8 to Young and 8 to Minot. I'm going to vacate this particular chair for a moment, and Dan Whiting's going to come in and join Alex Duffel.
So Jack Minot already looking in good touch, couple of boundaries for the 28-year-old. He's got experience with Hampshire's second 11 back in 2014, now playing his cricket down at South Wilts in Salisbury. And Dan's joined me.
Morning, Alex, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
don't you worry about you boys being 1 for 2, because we had Worcestershire 18 for 3 here the other day and they won the game, so, you know, don't you worry about that.
Ed Young, nice and solid in defence there as that one goes to mid-off.
Ian spoke to you just a moment ago about you finding it frustrating with sort of your youngsters. Do you find it frustrating negotiating that roundabout in Swindon?
Absolutely. The magic roundabout is
outside the football ground.
I've just heard, actually, so they have now taken it off the driving test route. It used to be on it.
Really?
So my driving test was right round it. Yeah, and for locals it's actually not too bad, but for people approaching it for the first time, you do hear stories of their troubles. As Young drops that one into the offside, and they're going to take a quick single here, Wiltshire, and they get through fairly comfortably.
They've got one in Hemel Hempstead as well, which is, I think, Ajit Singh Dale, although he's from Ascot, I think his other half might live in Hemel. And you actually go round the wrong way around it.
Yeah, it's the same with the Swindon one.
Yeah, and it sort of goes against the grain of everything you've been taught.
Yeah, so for those of you who know the Swindon one, you go the right way around the mini roundabouts, but the wrong way around the big roundabout in the middle, if that makes sense.
You guys having a good day? Enjoying yourselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, look, this is a highlight of the year for the Wiltshire players and everyone involved with Wiltshire County Cricket Club and the Wiltshire Cricket Board, as Jack Minot plays another lovely drive through the offside for 4 more, and he's looking in good touch early here.
Yeah, Minot, he's got a good thing going there.
Yeah, he made 24 in this fixture last year and 40 in the first game in 2021, and already here looks set for a few more runs hopefully today, and Wiltshire will be counting on it as well after this early start with a couple of wickets gone down early.
I had a good chat with your managing director, Pete
Sykes. Yep.
Pete Sykes, before the game. Yeah, he's a lovely guy, isn't he? A really good guy. Spoke very well, spoke very eloquently.
Yeah, lovely guy. Sykes family been involved in Wiltshire for a long time with Pete and also his dad Chris, and heavily involved at Chippenham Cricket Club as well, Pete.
Which is where Ollie Price has been playing
Yes.
a little bit of his Weppel cricket, isn't he? Well, I mean, I'm sure he's probably not playing too much at the moment, seeing as he's had such a wonderful season. He's probably one of the first names on the Gloucestershire team sheet at the moment, but he's been absolutely fantastic this year. But Chippenham's his club, isn't it?
Yeah, Chippenham obviously probably the closest in terms of places in Wiltshire for Gloucestershire. It's quite easy just down the M4, and that's hooked by Minot. He hasn't got all of it, and that's probably a good thing for him, as that bounces about 10 yards short of long leg there.
Yeah, I think that's Borman down there, isn't it? Tommy Borman.
It is one of the Gloucestershire Academy players with no name on his back today.
Yep, he was the star of Dumbleton's National Village Cup win last year. Got 71 in that, in the Cricketer Cup final at Lord's.
Another field change here as second slip's been moved into backward square. Potentially of indication of some more short stuff from Singdale here as he comes into Young. But this isn't short, that's full, and Young plays that down to third man for a single.
Josh Shaw doing the fielding down there.
End of the 6th over, Wiltshire 26 for 2.
So Ed Young, he plays his cricket at Valley End. That's
He does,
Surrey,
yeah.
isn't
So
it?
Surrey Championship Division 1, I believe. So
Yeah,
the top of the Surrey Championship
there,
tier.
actually, in I think the end of the month. I'm doing half a day at Valley End and then hot-footing it over to Bristol for Gloucestershire's game, T20 game against New Zealand in the evening. Tickets available on the Gloucestershire website, glossccc.co.uk. If anyone's listening in, drop us a line. We'll put our email address as Josh Shaw comes in. He's bowled him. Young's chopped on, and that's 26 for 3, and that's quite a big wicket.
A disappointing way to go for the Wiltshire skipper, as he just looked to slash that through the covers, probably not quite as wide as he was hoping for. Didn't quite have the room to play that shot, and just an inside edge down onto his own stumps.
He's trying to manufacture something there, wasn't he?
Yeah, there wasn't really the need for that. Him and Minot just starting to build a nice little partnership there. But Ed Young is naturally an aggressive player. He will look to score runs, and with that does bring the risk of a dismissal like that.
Yeah, and you've got a few guys who played second 11 in your side today. Arthur Godsall, he's been at Middlesex. I think he started off at Ealing Cricket Club and he's now at Crouch End. Good friend of mine's on the ground, head groundsman down there.
Yeah, there's a lot with second 11 county experience in this Wiltshire side.
Josh Croom,
yeah, both with Hampshire and more recently with Warwickshire.
Yeah.
Harry Broderick's played a few games for Hampshire second 11.
Okay. Cullen.
Yep, Tom Cullen obviously has played the most probably first class games as Ben Draper comes out to join Jack Minot. So Ben Draper also at South Wilts. So South Wilts teammates here into bat.
Draper's your wicket keeper.
He is.
That right?
Yeah, keeper today, Ben Draper. Obviously, there's a few in the side who could keep. Tom Cullen kept a little bit when he was at Glamorgan, I believe.
And Josh Kelly in next. Sorry, Kelly in next. He's at Potton. They're in the Whipple, aren't they? They're in Bath.
No, so Potton is kind of mid Wiltshire again, near Devizes.
Okay.
Very small little village there.
Shaw bouncer welcomes Draper to the crease with a little bit of chin music.
Yeah, so Potton probably one of the most successful clubs in Wiltshire in recent years. I would say they've had a lot of success in National Village Knockout and village competitions, as well as being certainly near the top half of the table in the Whipple Premier 1 in recent years, competing with the likes of Bath.
Okay. Go Taker, they're
Go Taker again, a very strong historic Wiltshire club.
Yeah.
They're now in Premier 2, I believe, so the Gloucestershire and Wiltshire division.
Okay. Where is Go Taker?
Go Taker is between kind of Swindon, so Swindon, Chippenham.
Okay.
So very near Lynham Airfield.
Right.
If anyone remembers before the RF moved to Brize Norton, they used Lynham for all their repatriations.
Ian Randall, no doubt, uses that with his private jet when he's down there. Got money, you know, that Randall, I tell you. Doesn't spend much, but he's got it. Here's Josh Shaw. As Minot defends into the offside. There's a decent crowd in today.
Atmosphere's building nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few in. Love the Cheltenham Festival, don't we? What a great event.
There's not many better places to watch cricket with this view.
Yep. We're 9 days in at the moment out of 11, so if the team are running on empty, we do apologise. That's just turn around the corner. Ajit Singh Dale doing the fielding down there, throws it over the head of Ben Wells, keeping. There's 3 guys out there without numbers on their back. Tommy Borman, Ed Middleton. Well, I think Ed Middleton's just got a jumper over his shirt. He's normally number 55. And Ahmed Syed, who took that catch. I'll be talking with Mark Thorburn, our pathway coach, at lunchtime in the hub. If anyone's got the feed live at the ground, come and join us. As that's just defended, because there are links now between Gloucestershire and Wiltshire, aren't they?
There are strong links. So we've done a lot of work with our EPP, so our Emerging Players Programme.
Yeah.
Is very heavily linked with Gloucestershire, so they do a lot of strength and conditioning sessions with Gloucestershire coaches, getting in bowling specialists, batting specialists to work with those respective skill sets in the winter. And then also, so this summer, a couple of weeks ago, we had a very interesting day at Marlborough College,
where we had links with Gloucestershire through Marker Lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we had what was called a bio-banding day. So we had 3 age groups, so under 12s, under 13s and under 14s. All played 1 T20 in the morning in their respective age groups.
Joshua Shaw in to Draper, who defends that into the offside. 2 for 11 off Josh Shaw's 4 overs. Bio-banding, what is it?
Bio-banding, yeah. So we played 1 T20 in their own age groups, and then prior to that game, they did a series of tests which was determined height, weight, speed, etc. And then in the second game...
I don't like the sound of that, Alex. I don't like the sound of that, mate.
The second game was done based on what is effectively their their bodies age. Obviously, at that age, they develop, and some grow a lot quicker than others.
Okay.
So the second game was, we had 3 teams where you had effectively a top band, a middle band, a lower band, and it was just to see whether we rely too much on age groups in cricket. That's clipped into the leg side by Minot, just falls short of square leg. So yeah, no, it was a very interesting day. I'm sure the data analysts will have a fun field day going through all the data from that day.
We've got Harry Clements here, who's got screens coming out of his screens.
But yeah, I think there are a few of my 13s wanting to redo their 40-metre sprint times. And Minot is in and solid there. Nice little change delivery from Ajit Singh Dale there, but well picked up from Minot. He's in behind that on the offside. 14 off 16 so far for Minot. A few nice drives early.
Yeah, I think national counties is sort of becoming more and more to the forefront, isn't it? It's starting to be streamed now as well.
It is, yeah. The Wiltshire stream this year has been.
Any commentary on the stream?
I'm not, but there are a lot of able replacements, and unfortunately, that's.
Oh,
boy, he's got hold of that. Has Jack Minot? In fact, that's gone all the way, has it? It has indeed. First 6 of the day. Short ball again from Ajit Singh Dale. He's bowled a couple so far, but this time Minot picks that up nicely off the hip and just flipped over square for 6.
I don't want your commentators being too good, because if there's a pathway and a connection between the two clubs, Randall and I will be out of a job.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of the Solent University down in Southampton. A lot of their media students have been doing commentary on the Wiltshire games this year, which has been really good to see. And that's flipped through square leg by Minot for 4 more. He's looking in good touch out there.
He's a good player. Very strong through the onside. And Ajit Singh Dale has rushed a few county batters this year. And Minot there is playing him, as Jeff Boycott would say, with a stick of rhubarb.
Yeah, after that that early blow to his body, Minot seems to have got accustomed to Singdale's pace here. So 10 off the last 2 balls.
We've got Harry Clements in the box with us again, and Ben Feasey is back.
Singdale is in to reply, and this time Minot gets in solidly behind that, just to block it back to the bowler. Jack Minot, who is Wiltshire's leading run scorer in the National Counties Trophy competition this year. It's the 50-over competition, which Wiltshire made the semi-finals of.
Who knocked you out?
Berkshire, unfortunately.
Okay. Local one.
The perennial winners in this competition, unfortunately, Berkshire. They've won the last 3 in a row.
Peplo's not still going there.
No, I don't think so.
It's got to be about 50
they're
now.
a very strong side. They'll be favourites again this year. They face Cumbria in the final. Minot blocks that one into the offside. That will end the 8th over, 10 off of it, and Wiltshire are 38 for 3.
Berkshire have got links with
Dan
Middlesex,
yes.
haven't they? So Dan Lincoln. There's
skippers
Blake
their
Cullen's
side.
come through there, hasn't he? And Martin Anderson, I think, is from like the Reading area as well. So there's a number there who've really got into that Middlesex first team. And
historically one of the, if not the strongest national county in recent years, Berkshire. As they've won the last 3 national county trophy finals, beaten Cumbria in all 3 of them, and they will meet for a 4th time successively on August the 27th down at Wormsley.
What we're finding as well with the national counties, you're getting people who are dropping out of the counties going the other way, aren't you? As well as, people, the up and comings, you're getting people who still want to play a good stand of cricket. I know Hertfordshire have got Jack Plom there, the old Essex guy. Josh Shaw comes in, that's got to be close. Shamnugan says no.
Height perhaps in
a
question there, a little bit going over, I reckon, from our view at square leg here.
Second time Gloucestershire have had umpire Shamnugan this year. Had him in the game against Durham back in Bristol in the 4-dayer, where he umpired along with Mark Newell.
Josh Shaw just hurrying Ben Draper there, but it did look like it might have clipped him a little bit too high.
Josh Shaw looking a bit of a handful this morning. I think he's looking forward to this competition starting. The Metro Bank 50 over.
Doesn't quite have the same ring to it as Royal London, I've got to say.
I think it will. I think it's just a matter of time, isn't it? And once people get used to calling it the Metro Bank 50 over.
No purple stumps though this year. I was quite a big fan of the purple stumps.
Yeah, I was. Maybe they'll be blue. Sure. In, that's down the leg side. It's obviously flicked something because umpire Shamnugan's not.
Little noise on the way through.
Yeah.
Fell short of Ben Wells.
Bowling from the chapel end. Anyone go to the service this morning? James Healy went to the service. Quite a decent attendance, wasn't it? Probably more than watch our stream.
Little field change here as square leg goes out to deep square and long leg comes into the circle. Deep square, which incidentally isn't too far outside the circle anyway.
Yeah, ball
on the short side.
Cut away. Now the power play in this 50 over, I believe, is 10 overs. So you can only have 2 fielders outside of the inner ring, outside of the discs. You might be able to see them on your screen perhaps. One there just behind Ben Wells. Might be able to see them. There you go. There's one there in the bottom of your screen. And they're an inner circle. And you can only have 2 fielders outside of that in the first 10 overs. That's tickled around the corner. He's going to get 4 runs there. That's quick across there.
Another nice shot from Jack Minot there. Realised the field change. Singdale had come into the ring at long leg, so he needs to get a little tickle on it to beat him. Square leg couldn't get round.
And you play yourself, don't you?
I do, yeah.
What's your club?
Play at Purton, so village club just west of Swindon.
Been getting runs?
No, absolutely not this year. I've had a horrible time.
Oh.
Thankfully, though, from a team point of view, our first team are doing very well. So we're top of the Wiltshire Division 1 this year.
Is that a bit of a sore point bringing that one?
Yeah. Run scoring, not. I'll say more credit with my coaching this year than my playing.
I've been there. Form is temporary, class is permanent, Alex. You know, so.
2 good wins for the club yesterday. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Both first and second team winning yesterday. First team nearing clinching the title and promotion.
Already?
Which is always good. Oh yeah, already. Yeah, only lost the first game of the season, and then haven't lost since.
That's Durham-esque. Yeah, that's good going. We're going to see Dominic Goodman into the attack.
Yeah, first
known
bowling
to
change
all
of the day.
sundry here as Lenny. Does he dance like Len Goodman? No, it's the call from Harry Clements. I can't imagine him, giving it the cha-cha or the foxtrot.
Not sure with that height it's quite so easy to have the grace of a ballroom dancer.
He's a lovely lad though, Dominic. Really is a top guy. And he's a very polite lad. Very nice lad.
Yeah, so something slightly different for the Wiltshire batters to face here. Height of Dom Goodman to contend with. This ball is full to Ben Draper. Gets in behind it, nice and solidly, down to mid-on.
Tom Smith just going through his paces as well. You'll see a little bit of slow left arm from him, no doubt, shortly. We've got 2 members of our cricketing curry 11 that we did during the Worcestershire game. Bowling at each end now, Rogan Josh Shaw and Popper Dominic Goodman.
And he's in again, Goodman, and Draper again solidly in behind it. Gloucestershire have targeted the stumps pretty early here today. They've been pretty full generally. Looked to challenge the Wiltshire batters around their pads. and they're bringing in a catching mid-on here. He's very straight. He's almost on the wicket. In fact, he stood right in front of Jack Minot at the non-striker's end as Goodman is in. And there he is, that man who's just gone in there.
We've seen this happen. We saw it happen in the Worcestershire game. Worcestershire actually had two sort of short mid-ons, not silly mid-ons, but short mid-ons like that position, and two short extra covers as well, or sort of short mid-offs. And would that be the slowness of the wicket, do you think?
Yeah, I think we've seen it already. There's a little bit of two-pace in it. There's been a couple that have stuck, a couple that have come through. A little bit of inconsistency on the bounce. They just want that prodding drive for that one on about leg stump, just to see if there's a chance of a catch. That's been tickled down to fine leg. That'll go all the way. There's no one down there at the minute for Gloucestershire. So 4 more to Wiltshire.
So what they're looking for there is that one that sticks in the pitch and the drive.
Yeah, just someone to go a bit too hard hands, just to try and go a little bit early on the up, a little catching opportunity, or potentially a leading edge for anyone trying to turn it into square leg where the man is on the boundary. There's no one down at fine legs. There's only one man out down there. So there's a chance there as mid-wicket now goes back, and that catcher goes into a more orthodox mid-wicket as the rain is just starting to fall here. A couple of spots in the air.
You want nice soft hands like Nanette Newman in the Fairy Liquid advert back in the day. That's come off something.
Down the leg side, I think it's come off the pad. A muted appeal from Gloucestershire.
Ian Randall was a big fan of Nanette Newman back in the day, I believe. No comment from Ian. Ian's going to come on the mic after this ball. We've got the three of us in here. My name's Dan Whiting, joined by Alex Duffel and Ian Randall.
That one does leap a bit from Goodman there. There is that bounce we were talking about in the wicket. Well played there. And Wiltshire are 47 for 3 at the end of the power play. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of your favourite Gloucestershire esteemed commentary duo.
Yep, 47 for 3. Draper's on 5. Jack Minot is on 28. Josh Shaw, he's got 2 for 15 off 5 this morning. Ajit Singh Dale, he was 1 for 27 off 4. And Dominic Goodman there, 1 for 4 off his first over. Ian, good morning to you. How the devil are you?
I'm all right, Daniel, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting news since we were last on air last night. Stuart Broad retiring.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until I watched the 10 o'clock bulletin on the television.
Oh.
I got home last night. I was doing some prep for today.
Tom Smith's going to come into the attack.
So Smith from the chapel end, and Minot drawn forward.
I've just seen Stuart Broad walk out to bat this morning with Jimmy Anderson, and there was not a dry eye in the house. It was just a wonderful reception. And the word legend, I'll come on to it after this ball.
Smith around the wicket. To Minot has thought about a single. He sent Draper back quite rightly. There wasn't one there, out into the offside.
Yeah, the word legend is overused, isn't it, often these days. But Stuart Broad, 600 wickets.
Smith round the wicket once more and spins out on. Oh, there's a misfield.
There is one.
Will Nash has had a nightmare there. He's gone to pick the ball up and it's gone further to the boundary than when he went to try and return it.
It's been hurled in over Ben Wells as well. A little bit untidy this morning, perhaps.
I thought Singdale was a bit leg side in that last over when Minot picked up that very clean hit for 6 and the boundary.
Well, he's back from injury. He's been out for 6-8 weeks, hasn't he?
Well, Smith has pulled out in the run up there. So it's a dead ball. 48 for 3 was Wiltshire, having decided to bat when they won the toss. There was a little bit of rain on the top of our marquee roof during the last over. Hopefully that is passing us by.
Sharp gloves there from Wells.
Draper trying to pull that
There's one or two umbrellas up to our right over there. But people aren't vacating the Sanford Road stand.
No,
Sanford Avenue stand.
and the rain on the roof has stopped.
Okay.
So it's just fleeting. Smith around the wicket. And Draper, I think, has nicked that. Yes, up goes the umpire's finger. Quite a loud nick. And Ben Wells has the catch, and there's a wicket for Tom Smith in his first over. Draper will keep wicket later, but his batting stint relatively short. And a lot now for Wiltshire hinges on whether Jack Minot can hold this top order together.
Yeah, 48 for 4. The visitors.
Last year was a run feast here, wasn't it? There was more than 500 runs here last year, or very nearly 500 runs.
Yeah, there was. Gloucestershire got 367 for 5. Ben Wells 124. James Bracey got 125 not out. Wiltshire started off very well. Meadows and Minot, they put on 53 for the opening stand. But then the lower order just capitulated, apart from Josh Kroom, he got 18 not out. And they were all out for 171. Tom Smith got 3 for 22. Josh Shaw got a couple of wickets in that game as well. In fact, all the bowlers got wickets. Josh Shaw, Paul Van Makeren, Jared Warner, Tom Smith, Jack Taylor and Dominic Goodman.
Yes, we haven't seen Luke Charlesworth yet, but I imagine that he will want to have a bowl. So it is Josh Kelly in at number 6 for Wiltshire. Tom Smith just waving Boorman behind square. There is nobody at long leg, so he's got quite a big area to cover to his right. Smith in, and Kelly just nudges that out on the offside. Smith will be an important bowler for Gloucestershire in the One Day Cup. He bats a lot lower down the order now than he used to, but still a canny operator in white ball cricket. 48 for 4 Wiltshire after 11.
Yeah. Power plays over. We saw yesterday Dylan Pennington throw the ball, didn't we, at Jack Taylor when he was on 98, and then Jack Taylor chopped him on the very next ball. And it's been a talking point on social media. And I did wonder at the time whether Pennington was going to be removed from the attack. And the guy who did my level 2 umpiring is a lovely man called Tim Caldecott. He's based in Watford in Hertfordshire. And he was very disappointed in me.
Well, there's some more light rain about.
Here's Goodman. Punched out to mid-off. Tim Caldecott was very disappointed in me, and I thought he was going to give me a level 2 for my lack of umpiring knowledge. But Dylan Pennington, for those of you who saw it yesterday on the stream, he threw the ball at Jack Taylor. It hit Jack Taylor, and he was docked 5 penalty runs. Pennington will probably get a level 2. Well, he definitely will, because there were 5 penalty runs, so he will get a level 2. Here's Goodman. Amersham lad. Saw his soccer skills earlier. He's not bad, Dominic Goodman. Probably the second best footballer to come out of Amersham since Eddie Howe.
Why not single takes him 30 out of 30 out of 49.
Some nice shots. That 6 he picked up over the leg side was tasty. Goodman to Kelly, keeping it tidy.
Given he's been so troubled by injuries this season, I wonder how much cricket in the 50 over competition Don Goodman might play.
I hope so, because I've got a lot of time for him. That's quick. Just ridden the bounce though there, Kelly, and runs it down to third for a single. There are umbrellas up, but I can't see any rain.
It's very, very fine, I think. Some of the stuff forecast for later on is a bit heavier than this, which is possibly why Wiltshire decided to bat, to see if they could have a complete game within the weather within the time that the weather suggests we have.
Turned around the corner there. That's the 50 up for Wiltshire in the 12th over. Just under an hour. All played. Looks a decent surface though, this, doesn't it? We've seen in the county championship games here how quick the outfield is, and I would suggest that in the games, Goodman in, that's a quick single, and Smith can't cut it off. I'd suggest in the games that we've got here on Tuesday against Derbyshire and Friday against Northamptonshire, which tickets are available on the Gloucestershire website, so go and get yours because they're selling fast. Friday there's going to be a big crowd in here, and I'd suggest that 350 is probably what you're looking at, I would say, off your 50 overs here.
I think that's high.
Do you?
Because bear in mind, bowlers do like to take wickets as well, and they do get a bit of help from the pitches here.
Yeah, I just think that the outfield's small. I think we've seen 300 in a day in the county champ. All right, in 96 overs or 350, even 400.
But we saw Dom Sibley get 100 here last year for Warwickshire, and he played comparatively cautiously. Tom Smith in from the Chapel end.
Don't remind me. I'm still having nightmares about that. I had to commentate through it, and I had to commentate because you left me alone at Bristol, and I had to commentate on another 100 of his at Bristol.
Around the wicket there is Smith, and that's gone beyond Ahmed Syed, and that will be returned to Wells. One more to the Wiltshire total, mine it up to 34 with that.
That was a 6-hour job. He just got to his 100 before the close of play, and I still haven't forgiven you for that, Ian.
No, I can make as many rascal cakes as I like, and there'll be no comeback for that.
No, if I've got to commentate through another Dominic Sibley 100. No, he's a good player. It was a masterclass in concentration.
Josh Kelly waits for Smith. Just the one slip in. Jack Taylor after his 98 yesterday. But would have been very annoyed to have got out in the fashion he did. Which want a quick, sharp single, and Wells lets the throw go from Josh Shaw. It didn't hit.
Miner didn't slide his bat there either.
56 for 4.
This rain a little more persistent.
Yes,
now.
it was just put the bat down rather than doing what all Alex's under 13s will be told to do.
Yeah, oh.
Be in trouble if they don't slide the bat in.
Quite right. It's amazing.
Pleasantly clipped up for a single by Minot.
It's amazing how many professionals you see who don't even do that, because it's something you're taught to do at under 11s, isn't it? You know, slide your bat. That's one of the first. That's one of the first things you're taught in cricket, is to run your bat in. And yet you see the professionals not do it. Even test players don't do it, and you think, wow.
Josh Kelly has 2. And that's almost on the full. He works that out straight to Middleton. At mid-wicket end of Smith's over, he's had 2 overs. And he's taken 1 for 4. The Wiltshire card Goodwin caught by Syed off Dale for 1. Cullen, LBW to Shaw, that was in the first over without scoring. Ed Young bowled by Shaw off an inside edge for 10, and Draper caught behind by Wells off Smith for 5.
Yeah, the rain just getting a little more persistent. Let's hope this doesn't ruin what is a big day for some of these guys.
Umpire's keen to stay out there at the moment, which is good.
Yeah, good. He's Goodman. Oh, that's gone in the air. Oh, Wells was close to that. I think that is off the glove. Yep. Good pace and bounce there from Goodman.
Surprised Wells did well.
I thought he might have had a
Dive, yeah.
I don't know how close he was to it.
It would have been a good take, but perhaps you needed the height of a Goodman to be in with a chance, or a...
Yeah, he's going away from us there, so he can't see, you know, how far away it was from him. It's just defended, and it is coming down a lot heavier now. I wonder if the umpires are just going to have a little word, perhaps. Maybe try and get through to the end of the over.
Yes, you might be able to hear it on our effects microphone.
Here we go, they're going off for rain.
They're going off.
Yeah. So, Wiltshire 57 for 4 after 13.2 overs, and that could come into the calculations of the DLS. Losing those 4 wickets as well will probably go against them in the DLS calculations, but we will leave you with the covers coming on here at Cheltenham College.
I wonder if James can put the card up on the screen for what we've seen so far in the first 55 minutes or so. There it is. And the domination on that card of Jack Minot tells you that he has looked by some distance the most comfortable of the Wiltshire runners.
He's played some lovely shots, hasn't he? Josh Shaw was impressive, early burst. Ajit Singh Dale back, good to see him back into the attack as well. Dominic Goodman's bowled with a little bit of pace and bounce, and Tom Smith doing what Tom Smith's done for years, basically.
Yeah, Ajit will have just been a bit bothered by his line. He was a bit leg side, particularly in that one over when Minot clipped him for a very, very well struck 6 away over deep backward square, and then a follow-up boundary through mid wicket. But we're off temporarily here at Cheltenham. Wiltshire having won the toss and decided to bat 57 for 4 in the 14th. We'll be back with you as soon as there is any news of a resumption. Covers though being brought on to protect the square, obviously with 2 further days of cricket still to come at Cheltenham in this festival, Tuesday and Friday. But for the moment, from the college ground, we'll leave you with Wiltshire 57 for 4 and news of a resumption as soon as we have it.